How does accountability lead in for closers and performers? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. It was June 11th, 2017, 2:26 in the afternoon. Perfect day to talk about sales, perfect day to talk about closing, and a perfect day to talk about accountability here in Sacramento. So I got this sales guy, Mitch, that I talk to quite frequently. He's a very smart dude, very good at what he does. And we were having a conversation, and he said something pretty interesting. I wanted to shoot a video about it. So Mitch, this one's for you. People who have a high closing rate that are a closer or a performer are the people who have high accountability for themselves. And what this means is, let's say that I go run a lead, and for whatever reason it doesn't close. Well, I've got two options. I can say, look, it was the neighborhood, it was the people that I met with, it was the fault of somebody else, okay? The second option that you're gonna find with people who are highly accountable for themselves, the question I start asking is, what could I have done differently? Look, this was my fault. I didn't know my financing, I didn't ask the right questions, I didn't close in this sequence, I didn't do. So the thing is, it comes down to blame. So if you want to really have a conversation with somebody, like there's 4 levels of salespeople. You got nervous, first one's nervous and clumsy, the second one's a discounter, so this is like roughly 60 to 70% of the sales population, okay? You got about 7 to 10% of the sales population that is a closer, and you got 1% of the sales population as a performer. That means they're the best of the best at what they do. And you're gonna find that between the closers and the performers, they're constantly saying, what could have I done better? This is my fault. They own it. They own it, say, hey, look, I screwed up. It wasn't anybody else's fault. It wasn't anybody else. It was all me. This was all me. What do I got to do to be different next time? How do I fix this? What do I got to do to get better? So if you're a salesperson and you're brand new and you're like, hey, look, I really look up to this guy or this girl, this is probably an attribute that they have. They think and they look around, they're like, I'm not going to blame it on the lead. I'm not going to blame it on the neighborhood. I'm not going to blame it on the person who came in. I'm not going to blame it on their last name. I'm not going to blame it on anybody else. See, a closer and a performer know that they're good enough to close almost any deal that walks in the door or that they go to the door to. And it's a mindset. It's accountability. It was all on me. So there's that saying, if it has to be, it's all up to me. I've heard that a bunch of times. If it has to be, it's up to me. If it has to be, it's up to me. This is the same thing for accountability for closing sales. If you really want to be good at what you do, accept the responsibility. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming every other outside source. Was it you that screwed up? Did you do your job? Did you ask all the questions? Sometimes you don't make the deal, but still ask the questions. What did I do? What did I not do? What could I have changed? Right? I had a journal that I would go through and I would write down the objection that I got and what I could have done differently, and then the next call I would change things up just slightly and do what I made the notes in my journal for. That will help you out. That's one of the ways to deal with this, okay? So Mitch, there you go. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that would be fantastic. To the right, to the left, there is a subscribe button. You know what you got to do. You got to subscribe. And then last of all, you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Why not even LinkedIn? Scott Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.